We're live, y'all. Yeah, so I'm about to apologize in advance because I am not all the way sure how this is going to go. So, y'all, I don't remember. Oh, there we go. I don't remember if I went live last week. I'm pretty sure I did. I think I went live on Tuesday. And I told y'all I was going to talk about procrastination. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. And I have been having a phenomenal week. Like, I don't even know what else to say about it. Like, I've been having a phenomenal week. And I want to talk a little bit about what has been going on because the phenomenality is really because of is really because of I'm referring to business. That's what I want to say. So when I say that I'm talking about business, like it has been really good. And I said this a few months ago that I realized that I'm in a place where things are just like taking off, like they're just like going, and that I know that I have tapped into something special when I talked about the creative thinking styles. And I'm excited to be one of the only people really that's talking about creative thinking in this way, and and just going just moving in alignment but not losing momentum, moving in alignment and with momentum or something like that. I don't even know how to I haven't even really had a chance to process it all the way. Like, I've had moments where it's like, ooh, that's good. Like, oh, that's happening. But I haven't even really just like sat with it. And I know that I want to and I need to, but I ain't there yet. I ain't there yet. I still feel like I'm kind of like in go mode. But let me just give y'all a little a little insight into what's going on. So I have a post on Threads currently that is going viral. And it was the simplest post ever. I was asking people to show me their dashboards on Claude because I was seeing, like, from time to time, I would see people with these dashboards and they were making them on Claude, and I was like, wow, I am really intrigued by this because I'm one of those people who knows that I desperately need some kind of organization. I need to be able to have something that like puts whatever I need to do in my face. And the only thing that I really have right now that I use consistently is a journal. And so I want to be able to have all the information that I need in one space. And so I was thinking, okay, well, what would it look like to start or create a dashboard, and what would I even want to be on this dashboard? And I had the thought to ask people to show me a screenshot of theirs. So I was like, if who's making their dashboard, who's using Claude to make their dashboard, show me a screenshot for some inspiration. And at first, like the first hour or so, I want to say maybe longer, the post wasn't doing nothing. Like, it was crickets. Nobody was nobody was responding to me. I was getting no kind of play. And then there was somebody that finally posted, and when she posted, her dashboard was like super dope. And then from there, it's like it just took off. And now not only are people sharing what they're doing with AI and even coding, but then there's also people who were not even aware that this was a thing. They was like, wait a minute, what? Can I do this? Can this replace Notion? And things like that. And so I love when I get to have moments where we can come together on something that we all are interested in, and it's like just like a bunch of nerds just coming together under a post to talk about AI. So it was really cool. It's been cool to see, and that's one. Two, I have the creative thinking style quiz that I created, and I launched it last week, and I used Claude to help me create it actually. And so I've been promoting it, and it seems like there it's only been out for maybe about 5 days, and in those 5 days so many people have already visited and taken the quiz and found value in it and found that it was interesting. And what I really love about this concept of people starting getting introduced to it with the quiz is that it allows people to be introduced to this concept, and it I am likely their introduction to these thinking styles. And I want to get into why that is so important to me, but I'm gonna save that breakdown for another day, just because I want to keep doing the work first, and then I'll report back. I'll report back. But I love that people are being introduced to this concept through this quiz. And actually, if it's something that you want to learn, if you want to learn your creative thinking style, I have finally made it accessible to people without having to go through a consultation with me. So, if you want to learn what your creative thinking style is, you want to learn how your ideas flow, you want to learn what causes you to procrastinate, because procrastination is not something you need to overcome, is something you need to understand, because when you understand why you're procrastinating, you're able to actively move through those blocks instead of returning to them time and time again. And it also helps you to see what direction you can take your business in, or you can take your brand in. And for a lot of people that have taken the quiz so far, they are in some place of pivoting. They're in some place where they are doing something different, where things are shifting for them, and they are learning or exploring and seeing where this journey takes them. There's people who have been in business for a while, but now they're realizing, I want to be able to bring more of who I am into what I do. I don't want to just be known for this one thing. I want to be able to bring the different aspects of myself into what I create and into my content and into how I present myself. And so there's that group of people. And then there's also people who are completely pivoting. They've been doing something for years, right? And now they are realizing, I don't want to do this anymore. My life is shifting, my priorities are shifting, my interests are shifting, and I want to know what that looks like when it comes to creating a new business or creating a new offer. And some people, they had to take a break from entrepreneurship, whether it was burnout, whether it was frustration, discouragement, just not knowing what to do and where to go from there. And now they're getting back on the horse, and now it's time for them to not only put themselves back out there again, but it's also time to learn what needs to change so that they can build something that's more sustainable, something that feels more free, something that feels more expansive, something that feels more creative. And so there's a couple of groups of people that would really benefit from the creative thinking styles, not to mention people who are curious and just getting started and want to know more about themselves, so that they can see, okay, I know I want to start something. I know I want to sell something. So now what does that look like for me to turn that into a product and turn that into an offer, turn that into a business? And so this what all of those groups of people are great candidates for the creative thinking style quiz. So what I'm going to do, it's not there yet, but I will put it there for you all. I actually put it in the chat right now. I'll type it in the chat, the link to it, and you can take the quiz. It's absolutely free. There is an opportunity for you to purchase the creative authority protocol, which will help you to not only, once you learn your creative thinking style with the quiz, the protocol then helps you. There it is, boom. I don't see it turning blue, but it should be a link. Once you learn your creative thinking style, the protocol helps you to move through procrastination and move through the hesitation and the blocks that stop you from being consistent, that stop you from completing your projects, that stops you from following through on your ideas, because there are literally practical steps to stop procrastinating. There are practical steps to creating, to consistency. And there are people that right now, to this day, at this very moment, that are showing up consistently because they learned how their mind works. They understand their creative thinking style, and they have been challenging themselves to keep going, keep showing up. Because the thing that pushed me to put this out there and to create something like this is that what I was seeing was an execution problem, an implementation gap. Okay. People aren't doing. There's so much thinking and so much information that's being gathered and hoarding and learning all these things and feeling productive, but not actually executing things, not actually getting stuff done. And there are people, believe it or not, who procrastinate with busyness. You are busy doing nothing. Not, I won't say nothing, that's harsh, but you're busy doing everything but what's going to help get what you want. That's how I want to say it. You're busy doing everything except the thing that's going to get you what you want. And so when that happens, and we can get into that a little bit, but when that happens, what's really going on is fear. Really going on is frustration. What's really going on is maybe a lack of knowledge, a gap somewhere that needs to be filled so that you can complete the next step, so that you can follow through. And then for some people, you are doing the work, you are showing up, and it doesn't feel like it's moving the needle because of what you're saying or because it's not clear enough. And so there are so many different reasons why what you're doing, why your efforts aren't getting you what you're looking for. And I really want to get into the examples of that, because I think that that's where you'll really get to see what I'm talking about, and it'll really make it clear. But we'll get into that. I will get into that another day. I hope that I say that a lot, y'all. I hope that I am actually returning to the things that I said that I would, because I say that a lot and now I don't remember the stuff. Sometimes I don't remember what I said I was going to come back to. So I hope I did. No one's told me I forgot yet. So I'm just going to assume that we're in a good place. So the quiz is there. Take a look at it, give it a try. If at the end you decide that I like this and I want to keep going, make sure you grab the Creative Authority Protocol, which then gives you the plan that you need to follow through and see how your creative thinking style works and what comes up. So there's that. Now, what I'm going to do today, because we have a new topic that we are getting into. And if you've been seeing some of my shorts, you may be here because you've seen some of my shorts where I've been talking about procrastination, and I've been talking about the different ways that procrastination shows up according to your thinking style. And so today I want to talk about the lateral thinker, because the lateral thinker is the next one that's on the list. So we talked about the aesthetic thinker and how the aesthetic thinker procrastinates. We talked about the divergent thinker, and then we talked about the inspirational thinker. And as I'm saying these out loud, I realized that the videos that I've been posting gave y'all an a general idea. I touched on the solution lightly. However, I didn't go into full detail on what that looks like. And so this video is going to be more in depth than the ones that I did before. So I apologize for that in advance. I might have to circle back around. I might have to, go back around and get into those. Or maybe, but I'm figuring this out in real time, y'all. Maybe we will, I'm gonna still do it. I'm gonna still go with the lateral thinker because I want to use this. I want to use a clip from this for shorts later, and I will come back. I will come back to the others and give it a little bit more context. But what I really wanted to do with this, and I think that's where I've been hesitating. I've been having a lot of ideas and I have not been documenting them like I need to. And it's all spilling out in real time. So I'm glad that that came to my mind. I'm gonna have to do some things over. Because what I want this to look like, let me tell y'all what I want this part of the series to look like, because I am actually I'm continuing the series on creative thinking styles. So this is going to be a part of that playlist. If you haven't listened to the creative thinking style series, I highly recommend you go back and give it a listen, friend. Give it a listen, because I have given so much to think about, and I've been helping people to look at themselves a little bit differently and understand themselves in a new way. And I believe that the same can be true for you if you haven't already seen it. So I definitely want you to go back and listen to them so that you can understand even more in depth what the creative thinking styles look like, and so you can see yourself in them. I also have been doing case studies, which is where I was getting to. I've been doing case studies on the creative thinking styles, and I want to get into even more. Thank you for the heart, the heart envelope. I want to get into even more of the procrastination part and the process to move through the procrastination. So it's some things that I've been, whew, it's all up here, just kind of like circling around. Like, is there, but yeah, it's a lot going on up here. So anyway, I do want to show y'all how I want to illustrate what this looks like. And I really want to get into how the combination of thinking styles, how what that looks like when procrastination shows up, and how you can move through it, and how to keep showing up consistently. So anyway, y'all, a lot of rambling going on in that little part, but let's get into the lateral thinker and their procrastination and what that looks like. So, whew, are we ready? Am I ready? I hope I'm ready. I hope I'm ready. You like me? Thank you. Thank you. Well, it's gonna get real. It's gonna have some more clarity now. The ramble is done for now. But if you want to hear some more rambling, I have a few videos that you can go to. Listen, where I just go, just talk. Actually, most of my live streams, there is a little ramble in every video, just for you. It's always gonna be a little side quest happening in them. Adrian, welcome in. I am on like almost an hour later than what I usually do. I almost didn't do it, y'all. For real, for real. Here I am back rambling again. I got to say this part. I got to get this out. I think I just need to just say whatever's coming to my mind at this point. Whatever's coming to my mind. So I almost didn't come on today. And y'all, if you notice, I didn't go live on Tuesday. I have been posting, but I haven't been live over on YouTube. And I have been exhausted, y'all. Not even exhausted, exhausted. And it's not a bad thing because so many good things have been going on this week. I am tired. And I was sitting in this chair and I was like, Jada, your makeup is on, you're dressed, you're in front of the computer, just turn it on. Turn the camera on and do this live stream. And I had to like negotiate with myself, like, get on there. Get on here, let's talk. And part of the reason why is because I didn't have a outline really for this. The topics, the procrastination is it's been outlined for a while. I've had this for weeks, but I like to create an actual outline for the live stream. And what I really wanted to do was the I wanted to continue doing them like case studies. And so I didn't I wanted to make it more polished. I wanted to make it a little I wanted to add a little bit more razzle dazzle to it. And so I was like, maybe I shouldn't go live because I don't want this to just be a live where I'm just like talking and it don't have no real direction. And then I was like, you know what? No, I'm gonna get on here. I have my notes. It's not an outline, but I have notes. And so we're just gonna talk about this one casually. And just know, oh, I do want to say this before I start talking about it. I am I'm going to have a guest. I have to look at my calendar and see if what day they booked for, and I can tell y'all. Gil, what's up, Gil? I'm going to have my first guest on here, y'all. My first YouTube guest. I haven't done an interview in so long, and I'm really excited because now I get to like chit chat back and forth with somebody. And so he's gonna be talking to us about marketing and what that looks like for creatives and how you can do it in a way where it doesn't just solely depend on social media. And so he has extensive experience when it comes to marketing. The When I met him, he was actually responsible. He was like the marketing director for University of Phoenix. And so he's been in the game for a minute. He has a business with a few partners and they help creatives with different resources. And so he's going to share all of that stuff when he comes on. And I'm so excited to talk to him because he's going to talk to us about things like funnels and systems that help you to really have a business that works for you and not something where you just have to like hustle and burn yourself out, especially because creatives don't always have the best systems. And I feel like part of the reason why is because systems are can be very rigid and they don't always take into account the different ways that people's minds work. And so a lot of times creatives have systems that they create for themselves, develop for themselves, whether it's, outlined or concrete or documented. That's the word I want to look for, whether it's documented or not. But there is not something that is really like intentional. Let me say that. And it's not something that they're aware of. And there are some gaps in those systems, right? And there's a lot of stuff that we keep up in our heads that we don't actually put out into something that supports us. And so he's going to talk about all of that stuff. I'm not going to get too much into it, but he's going to be my first guest. Kayla, happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. I wonder what happened. There must have been a bot. So he's going to be on. And then I'm going to have another guest, y'all. I already got two guests. Two guests. I am on a roll. Okay. And the second guest is going to be a live creative thinking style session. My friend Stephanie D. McKenzie, she's going to be my client for the evening. And so we're going to do her creative thinking style together. We're going to do the profile. And then I'm also going to give her a strategy for her business because what I've been realizing with her is that what platform, what strategy, what does this look like to have a system where I can show up in a way that makes sense for where I am now? She's also another person who has been in business for a while. And so her problem isn't knowing how to run a business or how to set up a funnel or how to like the technical aspects of running the business in that regard. are not the challenge that she has right now. Her challenge is that she's navigating a shift in how she's doing business. And when it comes to the marketing part, the marketing has been it's been a lot of experimentation for her, and not and feeling like it's like getting closer, but it still feels off. And so I want to be able to help her. And I had the thought because we were talking about her content today, and I was like, you know what? I feel like we should do a profile for you. We should do your creative thinking style, and we can talk about what rhythm would make sense for you, so that you can create content and you can market in a way that's sustainable. And so, yeah, yeah. I got some good stuff for y'all. Like I really I am yeah, I and I know y'all can see it too. It's a different place. It's a different place. Things are picking up, and I just don't even know. I don't even know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know what next week is gonna be like. I have no idea what's in store next. It just feels like things are just like up. So yeah, yeah. I already got that down. We're moving, we're grooving. So she agreed to it. I don't know. I'll have dates for y'all as things get more concrete, but we're getting to it. We're getting to it. Yeah. And I do think the quiz, I feel like the quiz really works at any level. It really does. And for the collective people, all my people that's in the collective, I'm gonna be sharing some deeper stuff with y'all. I'm gonna be talking to y'all about my funnel and how marketing has been going for my offer. Y'all, these results is this y'all. I can't wait to tell you. I can't share that with everybody. That's just for my members, for my collective people. If you are interested in getting, into the inner the like in the inner courts, a little closer, getting this information, then I will be extending that invitation to people who have made a purchase with me. I'll give y'all more details on that, because I outside of joining the actual collective, there isn't another entry point into it. Some of the people that are in there now were either clients of mine, or they're people who have purchased the Selling Without Selling Out workshop, which the people that did that workshop are making me so proud. I'm gonna do a recap on y'all too. But anyway, those are the ways that people that are currently in there, that's how they got in there. So I'll be making the invitation, I'll be opening it up so that you can be a part of the general group. And if that's not clear, it's because I'm explaining a little bit more than what y'all probably need to know. But yeah, collective people, y'all know what's up. Y'all know what's up. I'm gonna make sure, I'm gonna find a way to make that the invitation more clear. So if you want to be a part of it, I will let you know what that looks like to get into it. So anyway, um, y'all, okay, where was I at? Because I feel like I was talking about something, and then I jumped, and then I lost track of what I was talking about. Hopefully, I finished that thought. Yes, thank you, Adrian. Yeah, it's up. It's up. It's up. I'm gonna make yeah, it's up. I really want to remember what I was saying though, y'all. I don't remember what it was. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. So, are y'all ready? Let's talk about procrastination. Let me do this. Let me do this. Yeah, let me do this. This is why I have outlines. I just want you to know this is why I tend to do a better job when I have my show mapped out. Okay, so let's talk about procrastination for the lateral thinker. Okay, so if y'all are not caught up, I have just about every platform. Actually, yeah, every platform. Only platform that's not up to date is Instagram. Every platform I have been posting about procrastination. And the title of this video is Procrastination is Not Something to Overcome. It is something to understand. And this was inspired, this has been years in the making. Let me tell y'all this. I had this thought back when I lived in New York. Okay. I had this thought. I had this revelation that procrastination is not laziness. I'm not lazy. I am not a lazy person. I could actually do with a little less work. Okay? I could stand to be a little lazier because I am a person who, if I'm not physically moving, in my head, I'm like, I'm always doing something and I'm getting better at it. Okay. I'm getting better. But I realized that that was like it felt like it was like a trap. Like it was manipulation. Like that's really what it felt like. It felt like this whole idea of productivity culture, which that I don't think that was even the term that people was using at that time. Cause this was what, maybe like 2017, 2018 when I first had this revelation. And so people weren't calling it productivity culture at the time, but I just started feeling like it was a scam. I was like, first of all, I work hard. I barely have enough time in the day. I know I am not a lazy person, but I'm still procrastinating. And I felt like procrastination came from something deeper. And it felt to me that when people would call you lazy because you're procrastinating, that it was a way for you to basically like it was basically a way for you to be, y'all, it's manipulation. I don't even know how else to say it. And I don't care to mince words on this one. It's manipulation, and they say it, especially when you can make somebody, when you can tap into a shame that somebody has, or something that makes somebody feel bad about themselves, you can really get them to do a lot of things. You can convince them of a lot of things, and they were using it as a way to sell their planners, as a way to sell their courses and their programs and their products and all the things that were connected to productivity culture. And I was sick of it because I was tired. Like I am tired. And so this whole concept of procrastination not being laziness is deep now. Like this is who I am. And so I've always had this stance on it. Now, where it's elevated is being able to see that depending on how your mind works and depending on what motivates you and depending on how you process ideas, your procrastination is coming from somewhere. The blocks that you're feeling, the places where you start to feel stuck, the cycles that you find yourself in that you don't want to be in, that aren't helping you get what you want, it's not because of laziness. It's because there's something that is a there's something that's a point of friction for you. And when you can actually understand where that friction is coming from, where that hesitation is coming from, and you can address it, you are better equipped to remain consistent. You're better equipped to maintain your momentum because now you are solving problems instead of just trying to push through it with brute force, right? Like just like sheer willpower. I'm just gonna overcome it. Beat procrastination. It's like, bro, procrastination is normal. People procrastinate. And if you're doing it, it's because something is there. Something is there. Some is telling you something. What is it telling you? And so that's where this whole series is coming from, this whole thought process. And so I wanted to get that introduction because I haven't really given that yet, except for maybe like a sentence or two when I post the short videos. So where we are, I've been talking about them and I've been talking about how it shows up with each thinking style. And we are now on the lateral thinker. So the videos that I've posted so far, aesthetic thinker and what procrastination looks like for them, the divergent thinker, and the inspirational thinker. And so now we're moving on to the lateral thinker. And so what I've been doing with this and with this breakdown is I'm going to talk about what it looks like. I'm also going to talk about what's going on in your mind, because you are having different thoughts that are leading you to make the decisions that you're making, how it feels, what it is that is going on emotionally, or even just what it is that you are trying to do, and where procrastination is meeting you at, like where, again, where that friction is, where you're like bumping heads. And then I'm going to give you a scenario so you can be able to visualize it. And then I'm going to talk about where the growth happens, because this is like where it's really like, this is where the tea is, right? Because not only do I want to bring it to your attention, but I also want to show you that this procrastination is something that is going to always be present, right? But when you can understand where it's coming from, it makes it so that it doesn't hold you up for such a long time. It doesn't lead to you holding out on doing something for days and weeks and months, and then coming back to it and feeling like, oh my goodness, like I got to go and build up all this momentum again, because that's the part where I feel like a lot of people have been and keep getting back to. And it's like this, like I'm going and going and going, and then I'm going, 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 and then like that's what I want to be able to show you, that when you can understand it, when you know what it's coming from, and when you understand what it is you're trying to do, how do I accomplish my goal, and understand where the procrastination is coming from, so that I can actually reach my goal. I can actually do what it is that I'm trying to do, and not stop me and then not block me. Okay. So let's get into the lateral thinker. So, as a lateral thinker, procrastination happens when you're trying to refine your thoughts, you're trying to refine your ideas instead of expressing them. And so, when I talked about lateral thinkers, remember, lateral thinkers do a lot of internal processing. They be in their heads a lot. It's all up here, and not enough of it is coming out. And so that's what procrastination looks like. So you may sit on an idea for a really long time because it feels like it contains more depth than what you can articulate so far. You don't feel like the idea is fully fleshed out enough. You don't feel like you can talk about it well enough just yet. So you hold on to it. And because you're not a person who does surface level things, you're not a fan of it. You like to go deep. You like to get into like the nitty-gritty of things. You're prone to keep going deeper and keep digging instead of actually putting it out and allowing the depth to almost reveal itself. Okay? And so in your mind, as a lateral thinker, you're processing the information by restructuring it. So you're mulling it over, you're throwing it down, flipping, reversing it. You're doing all of this, like moving and structuring when it comes to your ideas. And so you're organizing the relationship between the idea until something starts to click. And when it feels like, okay, oh, that makes sense, now I can move forward with this, and it has the angle that you're looking for. And so when it comes to expressing something too early, your fear is that it's going to be a misrepresentation of what it is that you've come to, the insight that you got. And so you're trying to achieve this understanding, and this is like deep, like this deep understanding of the concept before you feel like it is time to release it. Like, I want to be able to understand this deeply before I talk about it. But the delay happens because you are trying to process it so much internally, when the stabilization of it, when the idea really gets solid by expressing it, by getting it out. Okay? Y'all following me so far? I'm gonna assume y'all are. So that's what's going on. So the long story short, I don't want to put this out too soon. Okay. I don't want to put this out before it's ready. I want to make sure that I can talk about this in a way where it's not misunderstood. And so inside, you're feeling like, I understand this, but I don't know how to explain it yet. Or if I say it now, is this going to sound incomplete? or maybe you're saying this needs, I need a better way to frame this, I need a better way to phrase this, like it's not good enough yet. And so you're trying to avoid your work being distorted, because again, you don't want it to be misrepresented, you don't want it to be misrepresented, and you want it to be understood in the right light, even though on the surface and to others it looks like you're avoiding completing the work. Again, we can't read your mind, lateral thinkers. So that's what's going on. So from the outside looking in, it looks like you're avoiding putting it out. And so that's what your procrastination is, what it looks like. So you're holding on to it, you're trying to make sure that, I don't want to put this out until it makes sense. And so you're probably calling it perfectionism, which I know a lot of us use, especially as creatives. You're probably calling it perfectionism. And like, that's cool. And that's a symptom of what's going on. But when you understand why you're thinking like that, why you're holding on to it, that already gives you an understanding of what is it that I'm trying to do, and why does it feel like I'm fighting myself when it comes to putting it out and expressing it now, or expressing it sooner. Yeah. You feel that too, Adrian? It is actually very similar to how the aesthetic thinker procrastinates, because you're trying to, you don't want it to, you want it to be, it is very similar actually. You don't want it to be misrepresented. It's similar, but it's like for the aesthetic thinker, the slight difference is that you want it to have like all the pieces in order. Like you want the story to be complete. So it is actually very similar. So that doesn't surprise me at all. So let's get into a scenario where this would be happening. So our person is going to be named Maya, okay? And Maya is a person like myself, actually very similar to me, who realizes that creators aren't struggling with motivation. They actually have a mismatch in their creative rhythm. It's like, who does that sound like? And so Maya has a solution to it, or she has a theory, right? Let's put it that way, because I feel like that's what Maya would probably say about her idea. I have a theory, I have a thought, right? So Maya realizes that creators aren't struggling with motivation. They actually have a mismatch creative rhythm. They don't understand their creative rhythm. And Maya's like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. That's I can see why that is happening to people. So she starts to see multiple problems, and she's able to connect it through this lens. Oh, they're not that's why they have so many drafts, and that's why they are trying to post on Instagram, but they really would probably do better on this platform. Like, she's starting to see all of these different connections and ways that she can help solve this problem. And so she wants to explain it, and so she writes a draft, right? And before that, before she writes the draft, Maya is doing her research, okay? Maya is doing her big one, okay? She's doing her deep dive, and she's really getting into the details of it, getting all of these references, getting all of this research done, asking all these questions. And so she writes out this draft of what is going to be her first workbook, talking about this framework that she has now come up come across, this idea that she's come across. And so she writes the draft, but the draft feels like it's only scratching the surface. Like, okay, they could do this, but if I got even deeper into the why, and then maybe this goes further than just right now, maybe this goes back into their experiences in college, or their experiences in childhood. And so now she's like, but I can't put this out until I give all those details. And so Maya is she still keeps going. And so then she's like, okay, let me rewrite it. And she rewrites it, and then she has to reframe it, because now that she's added in all these extra details, now she's realizing, you know what, this might be this It's something where I need to be even deeper into this. Like, how do I turn this into a quiz? I feel like I feel like I'm telling on myself. How do I turn this into a quiz? How do I turn this into an assessment? And so she's rewriting it again. And by this point, Maya is months into this idea and she has never even spoken about it to anybody. Nobody knows what Maya is working on. Maya hasn't talked about this. She hasn't asked any questions. She hasn't shared the thought and seen how people respond to it. This is all happening in Maya's head. Okay. Maya hasn't released this to nobody. The streets ain't seen no piece of this idea. And so she hasn't shared it yet, even though she's been working on this for months because she can't say it how she wants to just yet. So there's more insight that she feels like she needs, and months and months and months go by before she publishes anything. If she even publishes it, because sometimes you don't even get to releasing it. And so in this scenario, Maya has stumbled across an issue, a problem that a lot of lateral thinkers and some people that aren't lateral thinkers, but we're talking about lateral thinkers today, okay? That a lot of lateral thinkers run into where they do so much in here, they have so many thoughts here, but they're missing the piece where they have to actually test their ideas. They actually have to put them out there and see if it's viable, see if this is something that people respond to, see if her theory is accurate, talk about it to see if there's even interest in what she's doing. And so she's missed a critical part in the process of development because she's been holding on to this project because she doesn't feel like it's ready yet. She doesn't feel like it's deep enough yet. And so what happens if Maya decides, you know what, I don't want to be in this cycle anymore? What does she do? What does that look like? So what Maya can do? This is what I would suggest to her if I was sitting in front of Maya right now, is that she has to learn how to articulate how she has to learn that articulating it creates clarity. Putting it out there makes it clearer. Testing it out, talking it out, having conversations where you're sharing it, that's where the clarity comes from. That's where the things get stabilized. That's where it gets expansive. That's where the work gets deeper because now you're not just thinking it. It's not just theory. It's in action, it's in movement. And so with lateral thinkers, they often believe that clarity comes before expression, and that's their mode of thinking. That's how they operate. It needs to be clear before I can express it. And I'm gonna pause here for a second because I believe that this also, it is a part of the way that you think, but I believe that it also can be a response to a certain type of insecurity that people can have. And this is something that I've experienced myself, and that's what's prompting me to pause here because what I have found is that there are times where I feel like something has to, I don't want to come across as somebody who is misinformed. I don't want to come across as somebody who makes mistakes. And I have seen what can happen and what has happened to people who publicly on big platforms make mistakes, right? And we've all seen it. And how judgmental the internet can be and how critical it can be, and in some instances it can be scary when you put something out that you now have to walk back or that you now have to apologize for, or that you now have to correct. And so when you're operating from this place of wanting to make sure that you don't make any mistakes and that you don't mess up, or that you don't come across as somebody who is not informed, somebody that's ignorant, somebody that don't know what they're talking about, somebody who doesn't have enough experience, you can end up adopting this behavior as a way to overcompensate or as a way to protect yourself from those possibilities, right? And so even with those, bless you, even with those being feelings and thoughts and even fears that you might have, this growth part that I'm about to continue is still going to be an important exercise for you to have, because when it comes to putting out an idea, putting out a concept, you're absolutely allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to evolve. You're allowed to believe one thing and then get more information and then change what you believe based off of what you get. Like, we're allowed to do that as humans. And I know that it can be a scary thing to do and to think about. And you, there's also that part of you that doesn't want to mislead people and doesn't want to lead people astray, but you also got to get to a place where it's like, but I need to get this out. Like, this is something that can't just exist in my mind, because this is not just for me. This is something that I want to create for others. This is something that I am creating in service of others. So I have to be able to see how this thing does in the wild. I have to put it out there. For the sake of it actually being beneficial, for the sake of it actually going beyond my notes and my docs in my journals, I it has to exist outside of my mind. And so I wanted to share that, because I don't think that those internal things are discussed often enough, and I don't think that they're acknowledged, because that is what I have seen be the barrier for people at times, when you have all the information but you're still not taking the steps. There's a lot of things that we know to do and we still don't do. Why? It's because whatever that's hitting inside of us, whatever that's reminding us of from our past, that's what's running the show right now. And so being able to understand that and being able to be in tune with that is a very important awareness to have. So I wanted to put that out there, but I'm going to continue with the growth now. That's just something to think about, because that is something that comes up not just for the lateral thinkers, but for the people who find themselves holding on to their work and feeling like, I can't put it out yet, right? Like, that can be something that could be true for most, if not all, of the thinking styles. Like, it could be something even deeper than just, I don't know how to recognize why I'm procrastinating, like, practically. Okay. So, oh, Andrea, what's up, girl? I didn't see you come in here. Welcome in. Y'all, before I finish this, I want to do something fun. If you have taken the quiz, put your creative thinking styles in the chat, okay? Put your dominant thinking style and put your secondary thinking style in the chat. I really want y'all to see how diverse we are. And I love the fact that people are like learning this about themselves. So drop your thinking style in the chat, okay? Andrea, you knowing yours really excites me. When I saw your name on the sheet, I was like, yes. Okay, so yeah, drop your thinking styles in the chat if you can. And if you haven't taken the quiz yet and you don't know yours, scroll up. I dropped the link to the quiz in the chat. Go take a few minutes. It takes about 5 minutes. Take the quiz, and then you can come back and tell us what your thinking style was. Okay? All right. So let's get back into it. This is how you grow as a lateral thinker so that procrastination does not continue to hold you back. So, lateral thinkers often believe that clarity comes before expression, right? But we know now that clarity comes from the expression, not before. Oftentimes, you get more clarity as you do, as you implement, as you take action. So they have to learn to release partially So their thinking can continue to refine publicly rather than doing it in isolation. And when they develop this skill of expressing and internalizing incomplete insight, they become so much stronger as lateral thinkers because now your strength gets to shine. Now, the amazing way that your brain works, the things that you're able to see, the patterns that you're able to break, it begins to evolve and it begins to really pop out because now you're sharing it with people instead of just holding it all in for yourself or until you feel like it's ready to come out. That's how you become a mature lateral thinker. And so here are the signs that you can look out for to know that you are maturing as a lateral thinker. The first one is that you stop waiting for perfect explanation. Okay. You don't need to wait for perfection. What I will say is that you can practice sharing what you feel confident in sharing at that point, right? Instead of feeling like you have to put it all out there, even though it's a work in progress, talk about the part that you feel good about and then allow your theory to continue to evolve and share piece by piece, right? But don't hold it all in for yourself. Sharing in fragments, sharing pieces. Those, when you start to do that more naturally, that's how you know you're maturing as a lateral thinker. When your thinking starts to accelerate because now you're expressing it faster. You're not just like you're not bogged down, you're not weighed down by all of these ideas and these hypothetical scenarios when it don't have to be hypothetical because you're putting it out and you're seeing how people respond to it, which then makes you quicker. It makes you move faster. And if y'all remember when I talked about the thinking styles, I told you that when it comes to execution speed, the lateral thinker is one of the slowest when it comes to execution. And so imagine being a lateral thinker who moves a little bit further, a little bit faster on the execution scale because now you are maturing. And so those are the signs that I want you to start to realize and recognize as you are sharing those things. And so your articulation starts to sharpen. You become more confident. You become somebody who can talk about these things with ease because you've practiced talking about it and you didn't hold it all in for the perfect moment. And so think about if you've ever given a speech before. Like if you ever given a speech, you don't have to raise your hand, but if you ever given a speech before, then you know what I'm talking about. And so imagine you are you have this speech and you've done all this research for it and you have written out this what you feel like might be an incredible speech, but you have never practiced this speech, and you about to go out and speak in front of hundreds of people, and you have this speech that you have never talked about, and you're expecting yourself to go on that stage and talk about this, and when you haven't given yourself any space in between when you created this speech to when it was time to perform it, to practice it. So imagine your sharing in fragments is the practice, is you doing the speech on the live stream, grabbing somebody that you know that you can give the speech to and they can give you feedback, or sharing the like practicing sharing the idea so that when it comes to the point where you talk about this on stage, it's not all this pressure that's been built up to not only get on stage and talk in front of hundreds of people, but also to talk about and share a speech that you haven't even practiced yet. That's so much pressure to put on anyone, right? So the practice, the expression helps to alleviate that pressure, and it doesn't make this huge thing. It makes it something that can become big and it can evolve into something incredible and amazing, but you're not holding it all in for that moment. You're not trying to guess how things are going to go. You're seeing it in real time. Okay. So that's what I want you to think about. So your articulation gets faster, your expression gets clearer, it gets stronger. The idea, the concept is now strengthened by people's experiences with it, and people telling you their thoughts on it, and you're getting their feedback, and it only makes your idea, your concept even stronger because you didn't do it all by yourself. You didn't do it all in your head. And so that is the lateral thinkers, procrastination. That's how you move through it. Okay. And if we're going back to Maya's example, I would suggest to Maya that she starts to talk about what she's seeing as the signs. What she's seeing as ways that creators are having a mismatched rhythm, and share what she knows so far. And then go back, do some more research, do some more writing, and then share some more. And then imagine if she has a this is like a little bit of strategy, but imagine if Maya was writing a book. Like this whole idea that she's come up with for creative rhythm, it turned into a book. And so now, because she's talking about it, she's sharing it, it's almost like she's now marketing this book as she's writing it. So then when she releases it, she's not releasing it to a cold audience. She's not having to market it and do all this work on the back end to get people aware of it, because she's been building awareness as she goes. As a matter of fact, this made me think about something else. This made me think about something else that I saw today. But I'm gonna end it there for now. I'm actually gonna probably cut that off. I'm just gonna do a little gesture. So when I go back to edit this, I know what I'm talking about. And then I'm gonna share something with y'all that I saw today that this reminded me of. But let me look at the comments. Okay, so Andrea is a divergent and inspirational thinker. That's such a cool combo. You are the first person I have met with that combo in that order, Andrea. The only other person I know so far that has that combo in the reverse order is actually Antoinette. She's a Bullock over on TikTok. She is an inspirational and a divergent thinker, but you flip flop. So I think that that's so cool. When I saw it, I was like, oh, I love that combo. Okay, Kayla is an inspirational and a systems thinker. Hey, twin. That's mine too. Inspirational systems thinker. And then Adrian is an inspirational and aesthetic thinker, which is such a beautiful combo. Adrian was also the first person who I met with that combo. Yeah, uh-huh. Yeah, you're the first. You're the first one in that order. So y'all probably would have a lot in common, but divergent thinkers are some of my favorite. I love the way that y'all minds work, and I love how active you are. Like I love the energy and the excitement that you bring to to a creative project. And so if you haven't already, I would encourage you to go back and listen to the breakdown of the divergent thinker, and also listen to the breakdown of the inspirational thinker, because that is going to give you even more information and insight into like what that looks like and what you can do with it and what you bring to the space, because that's one of my favorite things about it. Like the divergent thinkers bring the energy, and so that's something that we need. Like we need people like you. Yeah. Okay. All right, y'all, real quick, where are we on time? Okay. Yeah, and I'll be sending out an email to y'all. I wanted to do it today, but today got away from me. It just did. It simply did. But I will Friday. I'm not making any excuses. I'm going to send y'all this email with not only like further information. I want to send y'all the videos that correspond with your thinking style, but I also want to. I have something else that I've been cooking up to help with the taking action part. So I got some thoughts on that as well. So I'll be emailing y'all about that. But yeah, let me tell y'all this example real fast, and then this will be where I end our live for today. Yeah, look, I'm over an hour as usual. Okay, all right. So y'all know that Cardi B has that hair care line that she's launched, and she's been teasing it for a while, but it's finally she had a pre-sale, and the pre-sale sold out. And what I heard, it sold out in like 45 minutes. Like it did numbers. Like it did numbers. And she's been promoting it for a few months, like actively, right? So she's been showing off her natural hair and showing how long it is. But I was watching this video, of a friend of mine. Her name is King Ashley Ann, or the Feminine Millionaire. If you're following her on TikTok, and so she did this breakdown of why Cardi B's line is going to be successful, even though people feel like there are people who are saying that it's not going to be, which is the same thing they said about Beyonce and Sacred and Look at Sacred. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think the internet really know what they're talking about when it comes to the success of people's businesses, but I digress. So she was doing a like an overview of why her hair care line is going to be successful. And so she said that for years Cardi has been sharing her hair journey and where she started because her hair got really damaged at one point. And so she has been for years sharing her journey and her growth and the evolution of her hair and it becoming healthier, her being getting to a place where she is accepting of her hair and her hair texture and how it looks, because it was something that was she was teased about when she was younger. And so she's been sharing all of these different things, and has been incredibly relatable when it comes to her talking about it. And when it comes to relatability, that is gold in marketing. That's gold in branding, because if people feel connected to it, they feel like they can relate to it, they see themselves in it. Like, it's not even about you. If they can see themselves in what it is that you're doing, that's when you got them. That's when they're connected to it. That's when they're sold on it. And there are so many women who can relate and connect to Cardi's story. Well, how many of us can relate to hating our hair, hating our hair texture, or being teased because of how our hair is? How many of us can relate to not knowing how to take care of our hair, not knowing what products to use? When we went natural, there weren't natural hair care products for real. Like, we didn't even really have good stuff to use on our hair. We didn't know. We was all basically learning together. So those are all experiences that as black women or women with textured hair can relate to. And so that's one point. So she is incredibly relatable. But also um she set her hair care, from what I've heard. I haven't looked into it yet, y'all. So I'm really just recapping the video. But her hair care line is also very affordable too. So she's not knocking people over the head when it comes to the pricing of the products as well. So it's relatable and it's accessible. Beautiful combination, right? So that means she's also in tune with where we are, where the state of the world is, and wanting to not alienate her audience. And so I said all of that. I gave that example because I want you to focus on the part where I said that Cardi's been talking about her hair for years. She's been talking about it literally for years. She has been sharing this journey. She has been planting that little seed and watering it for years. And so it's got to the point where it just makes sense that she has a hair care line. Like, it just makes sense. This is something that I when I think about it, I think about what you talked about and what you shared. You having a hair care line makes sense because this is what you've been doing. You've been planting that seed. And when I want you to think about the connection that I made with the lateral thinker, and how practicing the expression, like just getting it out and expressing things more often instead of waiting, it also helps to establish you as somebody who talks about this, somebody that does this. It makes it so that when you put it out, you're not putting it out to a cold audience. You're not putting it out to people who are confused. You're putting it out to people who are like, oh, that makes sense. You've been talking about this. You've been doing this. And so when we hold on to things and we keep it so tight and under wraps, it makes it harder for us in the end to market it. Like, imagine if Cardi never talked about her hair, never wore her natural hair, never shared her experience with it, and then the last, like, what, month or two, now she's talking about hair all of a sudden, and then she come out with a hair care line. The results of this line would have been drastically different if she was going that route, because celebrity is not always enough to sell a product, and it definitely wouldn't be enough for it to have longevity. And so, if there is anything that you can take from her journey and what that means for you, is that sharing those things expressing it more often, sharing your stance on things, your opinion, your experiences, things that people can relate to, sharing your ideas before they're fully perfect, and allowing people to start to get acquainted with it. That is the stuff that makes it so that when you start talking about it, you're talking about it to people where it makes sense, and it makes it so much easier for you. So I want to keep saying the same thing over and over again, but I feel like that's pretty succinct. So let me know though. Are y'all following me on that? Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down with that? Because that was the connection that came to my mind when I was talking about it. And I was like, oh, that's the perfect example. It's a very timely example. I kind of wish that I thought about it before I went live. It would have been a really good topic. But we're here now. We're here now. And that's what matters. Yes. Okay. Let me see. So Andrea said, "Yeah, I hold back on a lot I've been doing for my brand." Yeah, and like everybody's like, there is a. I think there's a balance. There is a line that you can toe when it comes to what you share and how much will you share, like how much detail you put into it. And I would love to do another breakdown for y'all, and maybe I'll do another one. I'm not sure when, because there's actually a couple of people that I want to do like case studies on. It's not a case study, but that's the best way I can describe it right now. I want to do some breakdowns of how people are marketing things and how they are setting it up for success because of how they're choosing to share and how they're choosing to market. But one of the things that I feel has been so damaging, that people say all the time, is that quote, move in silence. Real G's move in silence like lasagna. Like, ugh. I That is probably one of my least favorite phrases ever now. At least when it comes to business. I think that is terrible advice. Just basura. Basura. Like, just it terrible, because you you are making it so much harder on yourself when it comes to getting people to pay attention to what you're doing. And what really bothers me about it is that, if I can be real with y'all, I love you. Okay, I want to say that first. All right, I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this. Okay, but most of us, I'm gonna include myself, most of us are not at a place where we can just pop out with stuff. Okay. Okay. We're not that established. We don't have that much visibility. We do not have platforms where enough people are aware of what we're doing, where we can just do a drop like Beyonce. We can't just drop no album on people at midnight. Like, we can't, that does not work for the majority of people. And so when we start to adopt this approach of, I'm gonna keep it under wraps until it's time to launch it, to release it. Okay, but just know you're going to be working really hard to get to a place where people start to pay attention to what you're doing. And it's not because you waited until you were done with it to launch it. It's because visibility takes time. Launching things takes time for people to pay attention to it. The repetition, the consistency, you have to keep showing up. And there's times where there can be long stretches of time where people aren't engaging with it yet. They're not responding to it yet. They're not interacting with it yet. And then all of a sudden things start to pick up. But too many people give up before the momentum kicks in, because they get discouraged or they just get tired, because you spent all that time working on the thing. Now it's ready. And now you got to do more work to market it. when that entire time that you were in this, you was in the lab, you could have been talking about it. You could have been sharing little tidbits, little snippets, sharing stories that are related to it, sharing things that would draw in the people who will need it. You could be doing all of that as you're building. And that makes it so that when you do put it out, people are already warm. They already hot and ready. They hot. They're not even warm no more. They hot and ready for it. They're like, oh, finally. Like, you've been talking about this for months. I'm ready for this. I am excited for this. Like, how many people want to have that experience? How many people want to launch something to people who are like, yes, finally, you've been teasing this for so long and now it's here. Like, that's what you want. And so, this whole like move in silence, that's cute. That's cute for you. As for me, no, no. I'm going to tell y'all as much as I can. Y'all gonna know. I'm gonna keep talking about it. And then when it's out, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, okay, yeah. I see. Y'all get what I'm saying? So like I promise you, I say that with so much love, but I want you to be honest about that part. You know, like and not taking it personally because it's not a personal thing. It's just simply how it is. Like if you visibility takes time. That's and I'm gonna leave it at that. Visibility takes time. Okay. Oh, yes, people do need to understand it. And it's stressing me out, man. It is stressing me out, girl. Yes, makes sense. It makes sense. Yes. Yeah, Kayla. When I tell you, I cannot wait. I cannot wait until we can talk about your journey with this event. Okay. Y'all, Kayla has been doing her big one, marketing this event. I am I am beyond proud of her. And I want to talk about her, but I also got to get off of here cuz it's almost 9:30. So I might maybe I'll figure out how to talk about you, Kayla. I'm going to talk about you though. You already know I am. You already know. But I'm proud of you. I feel like this is the lesson that you have been learning, and that I love how you have risen to the challenge. And I'm gonna leave it at that. And I will say this though. I will say this. Kayla has an event coming up this Sunday, March 29th in Maryland. And it is called Joy Offline, and she is creating a space for us to junk journal because we do not take enough time to create joy for ourselves, and we're living lives where we are waiting for joy to happen, and that is, if we're waiting for joy to happen, is never going to happen. Joy is something that you experience when you are intentional about creating experiences for yourself to create it, knowing what brings you joy, being able to just slow down for a second and do something that feeds you, something that gives you space to just breathe, to just smile, to laugh, to do something that doesn't have to be tied to productivity, just being able to be. She's creating spaces like this with her Joy Offline events. And so the junk journaling is going to be her first event, her first solo event. And I'm incredibly proud of her and how she's been marketing it and showing up for it. So if you are in the DMV, you still have time. Okay. Especially if you're in Maryland, I got to be specific because people be saying DMV. It's a lot of DMV. I'm just say that. But if you are in Maryland, or if you are willing to travel to Maryland and you want to have something that's relaxing and fun to do on a Sunday, check out the event. Okay. And I will come back and tell y'all more about Kayla's journey when it is all said and done. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Doing your event shopping. Oh, I hope you're gonna record that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm always gonna plug you. Always gonna plug you. And when everybody else, when y'all got stuff y'all dropping too, I'm plugging y'all too. Don't worry. Do not worry. Don't you fret. I'll be talking about everybody. Okay. But y'all, let me get off of here. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me. Thank you for tapping. Thank you for the likes on the video. Thank you for the people who have taken the quiz. I appreciate y'all more than I can express. And y'all, it's like I said earlier, it's up from here. Not just for me, but everybody that's connected to me. Okay? It's up. All right? It's up. So I want y'all to be encouraged. Keep going. Keep keep I want to say keep pressing. Keep doing the things that make you uncomfortable but are necessary, because it is all being done for a reason. Okay. I promise you it's all happening for a reason. So y'all have a good night. Have a great weekend. And I'll see y'all next week. Bye. Oh, thank you, Gil. Good night.